Hello and welcome to Game Overcast. On this episode, we
almost died. I'm kidding.
Tell them about it.
Cue the stuff.
Hello
Hi.
and welcome to Game Overcast, episode 54. If you can't tell, that was kind of a joke, but
And kind of not.
it kind of wasn't.
We're zombies, or not really, but we were. We were zombies.
So, situation update. It's been a month since the last show. We're sorry.
Has it been a month?
It's been at least a month, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it, but let me
That's
tell you.
because we've been dead.
Yes. So.
First off, entirely Brittany's fault.
It really was my fault. I feel like I was the T-virus.
All right, and we're back.
Hi.
So
Welcome back.
if we cut randomly, it's it's because we're both still sick.
For the most part, I'm better, but I felt really bad. And I feel really bad because I feel like, dude, it's always an adventure with us. I feel like there's always something going on that's like crazy. But no, we got back from California, and while we were in California,
Which we were in California, by
we
the
were
way.
in California, by the way. And while we were in California,
My birthday.
yeah, his birthday. Happy
Just
birthday.
saying.
Happy belated birthday,
Thank you.
Matt.
Thank you.
But while we were in California, I started coughing, and everybody was like, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're
And
okay?"
we kind of thought it was just like the dry air. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like not
And I was like,
humid.
"No, I'm totally fine. It's just because it's dry." Mind you, I've been to California and Las Vegas many times, and that's
you've been
never
fine.
happened to me.
Maybe dry skin, little cough.
Exactly, like obviously dry skin,
Yeah.
but I nothing. I've always been okay. As soon as I got home, it just boom, it smacked me, and I have been was sick for about a month.
Yeah.
And there was like a break.
You got my mother sick. She
Yes.
put my mother in the hospital.
I got his mother. Ooh, I may have hospitalized his mother. Had the T-virus. I'm
Yeah.
so
You were
sorry.
You were patient zero.
Sorry, Matt, Mommy, you're the best.
And then she got me sick. And
Mhm.
as things usually, like, I don't get sick very easily.
Yeah, you really
But
don't.
I hang out with Britt, and Britt gets sick, and then it's like having a child. And then, like, your kid comes home from daycare and has some kind of new form of the death plague every time.
Right? Okay. What was the last thing you said?
I was talking about everyone getting sick.
Yes, and this is
Yeah.
so true. And I actually had a break where I thought I was better, and then boom, it hit me again, and it was like worse than ever. And this year has been so bad for me. I came back from CGF with strep throat. And then I got sick again like a month and a half later.
Yep.
And that usually never happens to me. Like, I haven't been sick, I want to say this bad in a while.
Mhm.
Like, usually I used to get sick like every year, and usually around like Christmas time. And that hadn't happened to me for like the past few years. I want to say, I mean, I could be wrong. I have the worst memory ever. But I want to say that hasn't happened to me. So this year really hit me really hard. And hopefully 2020 will be better and not hit me as
The
hard.
year of no plagues. Hopefully
Yes,
so.
That would be lovely.
Because it sucks.
It does. I actually
got, like, all of our friends sick.
Yeah, all of our friends were sick.
Still are in some cases.
My whole store where I work was
still
sick. I felt so bad.
Like, I
Like,
can
everybody I
breathe now, thank
knew.
God. Yeah, it sucks. But
Yeah.
so that was the delay. So we
Yes.
apologize, but
Sorry.
we were literally dying.
Yes. And I didn't have a voice, I think, for like what?
Neither one of
3,
us did.
like,
Yeah, we couldn't
2.5
talk at all.
About 2.5 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And there's still sometimes it gets a little squeaky and it sounds a little weird,
Hence the cough.
and I
Darn.
still can't. But for the most part, we're 100%.
I will
but-
try my best to cut most of the coughs and stuff out because no one
Yeah.
wants to listen to that. So once again, if there's random drops and cuts, that's why. It just, one of us starts coughing and hacking and exploding. That's what happened. It's probably going to be me because she's all happy and good now and I still can't breathe. Ugh. It's okay. I'm sure you'll get sick again at some point.
No, please don't say that. Knock on wood.
So there's that. More updates.
Yes.
Not necessarily show related, but I figured you'd want to talk about it, so it's on the list.
I do. I'm so excited.
Why don't you tell us, Brittany?
I have rescued a puppy.
Yay.
I say it's a puppy, but she's about 2. The vet is estimating that she's about 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
old. She's a white Labrador Retriever.
Mhm.
And I've only had her I mean,
It's been like a day or two now, pretty much.
I haven't.
So.
Yeah, I haven't had her for very long.
Like you got her shots and everything immediately.
Yes,
Yeah.
immediately. As soon as I could take her, I took her. I made a vet appointment for her. She has all of her vaccinations and rabies, and she's been groomed, and she's such a lovely, lovely.
Little rescue puppy.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is my child.
I'll post
love her so
I'll see if we can get a
much.
picture of her. I'll post a picture of her so you can
Yes.
see her. But
Yes, I am super,
so not
super,
necessarily
super
video
proud
games,
of
but
her.
if you like puppies, there's a puppy.
Yes,
Yay.
yeah. What she, the story. She showed up to my best friend's house, and my best friend has 3 dogs already. One of my best friends, sorry, Matt. I said one of them because you're the other. But she,
Whatever. You didn't get her sick, did you?
Actually, I didn't. But I didn't see her that often. So I don't get to see her that often because she lives in the country.
I'm like the plague friend.
Yeah, you live
Yeah.
close. She does not.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, she already
I
has
hate
3 really big dogs.
Who are wonderful, by the way.
Who are wonderful.
I go over and just lay down and allow them to take me.
Yes, they're amazing. But she has 3 really big dogs, and she was like, this dog is so good. She's beautiful. We've tried putting up flyers. We've tried putting her on our neighborhood apps to see if anybody's claimed her, and no one's claiming her. So I saw a picture of her, and I knew immediately that I had to have her in my life. And I had already been thinking about getting a dog.
And you don't want to leave her out in the cold because it's really cold right now.
Yeah, it's been getting
It's like
super
in the 30s
cold.
at night.
Super cold lately. And I couldn't bear the thought of her being out there. So, yeah, I went and I scooped her up. And
With
yeah.
a very large snow shovel, actually.
Yeah.
It was good.
And she's been super sweet. She's been my bestie. She never leaves my side. I love her so much. And her name is Spock.
Her name is Spock.
Her name, yes. It's
She's
she.
your friend,
And
Ralph.
totally Spock, yeah, for Ralph.
Very good. Cool. So let's talk about some video games.
Okay.
Attempt to.
Yes.
This is, wait for it, guys. Wait for it. Are you ready? This is going to be a quick show.
We promise this time. No,
Yeah,
really.
sure.
It actually might be.
Yeah. I didn't do much for the plan because I was tired and ill. So now playing. So I played Star Wars for like probably 5 minutes. I got it. I installed it. It worked. I was like, hey, cool. Nice music. And that's as far as it went.
Dude, the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
You sent me that song.
Have you played any more than me?
No.
Okay.
No. But you... Excuse me. I actually have it downloaded, and I haven't touched it yet because I've been super busy with Spock and like a lot of other things. And yeah, like, oh my gosh, you sent me that song, and it's amazing. I love it. And I can't wait. Is it true? Do you really feel... I feel like I haven't played enough to understand because I feel like I only basically did the opening, like the cutscene, like the beginning portion of it. I feel like you're staring at me like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Like the very beginning, like the shipyard kind of thing? Or?
I feel like I just opened the game.
That's as far as I got.
Saw some stuff, and then that was it.
Yeah, that's pretty much as far as I got. I literally watched the cutscene and went, hey, that's a cool song.
Yeah.
Hey, cool, I'm moving now. Cool.
Yeah,
Click.
exactly.
Yeah. Fiddle with the graphics settings. So I'm playing on PC,
So
of course.
people are telling me that it is like a Dark Souls clone.
Yes, I told you about that when we were describing it, remember?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you I heard that from, but
Yeah. I don't know. We will find out.
we will.
I know the gameplay elements are very, very derivative of Dark Souls, unless they changed it heavily. But I mean, it might still be good. It's Respawn. They do good things. But so by the next episode, which should actually be out correctly on time, unless something else happens, we'll have played it by then, so we can tell you all about it.
Yes, played it. Yeah, for sure.
For more than 5 minutes.
For more than 5 minutes, because I feel like that's not, to see stuff and to open it for like 5 minutes.
25-hour game also, which is
really,
yeah.
Anyway, I feel like that's not an accurate representation of what the whole thing is going to be like. So
But otherwise, now playing, Matt is playing Ark still again because it's awesome.
Ark.
It's awesome.
I just
okay. It's
I
awesome.
get sad if my dinosaurs die.
Yeah, me too. Speaking of which,
Yes.
So I downloaded a new map called Crystal Isles. It's like a user-created mod map, and wow, it looks cool. If you played Ark and you haven't played this map, download it. It's great. It's like 2 gigs, but it's awesome.
Interesting.
It's massive, and it's like Ark, but with like a kind of a fantasy spin. So there's lots of really bright colors. Lots of the dinosaurs are like they pop really well, and there's crystals and floating islands, all like Avatar, and
cool.
Yeah, like lava rivers and really pretty trees that glow at night and everything. That's where my
really like Avatar.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really cool, and I like it. And I was exploring because the map is massive, like massive. Like I was playing Valguero before that, which is another new official map that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And this map just feels so much larger. It might not actually be, but it feels a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god. It could just be the diversity of the biomes, where Valguero's got like forest, and then it's got a desert, and that's it. This one has just the like magical forest, and then it's got like a deserty area. Then it's got like different kinds of swamps with red evil vein monster trees that really creep me out to look at because they're like pulsating at you and stuff. And then there's a hot spring that leads into a river of lava. And let me just kick it off right there. Things are dead. Things have died. So I was exploring this map. Like, I'm just going to go this way and explore because yay. I'm like, hey, there's a hot spring. Awesome. Hey, the hot spring leads to this river of lava. Fly, 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 la, 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 la. Oh my goodness. It's like a phoenix or a firebird or something I didn't know existed in the game, but it does. So it's like this bird, and it flaps, and it's on fire. And at first I was like, is that a bird that's going to explode because it's on fire? No, it's always on fire. It's a firebird. It's okay. No problem. So I landed my bird, my little pterodactyl friend, who I hadn't even named yet because I hadn't thought of a name of.
Aw.
This poor
You didn't
fella.
even have long enough to think of a name.
It's occurred to me, if things aren't named, they're officially red shirts. And you know what that is. And
Yes.
for anyone who doesn't get the gag, it's a Star Trek gag where the red shirt people are always the ones that die on
They're
the away
expendable.
missions. Yeah, they're the expendables. Yes.
Yes.
Doesn't have a name. It's like Ensign Bob or something, and he's gonna get eaten by the slime monster. It's the way it's gonna go.
Ensign Bob. Okay. I like
So I land my pterodactyl and hop out with my little bow, my little trank arrows. I'm like, do. I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can trank that thing. So it's flying around like a maniac, and I'm tranking it. And I'm forgetting that my pterodactyl's following me, so he'll like fly and follow me, and then like land, and then fly and follow me, and then land. He flies and follows me and lands on a rock that sets him on fire. I didn't notice this at first. Some of the rocks were hot. It's lava. And, oh
Wow.
no. So he lands on this rock and bursts into
Wow.
flames. And I see a bird flying. I'm like, oh, it's another firebird. Wait, that's, oh. And then it dies, and there's the message that your bird has died. I went, oh, well.
Oh no.
Expletive. And at this point, mind you, I'm in this valley of rocks that I can't climb out of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry about that. We are back.
Anyway,
so
so
lava.
your bird was on fire.
My bird died,
which
and I'm stuck on the shore of a lava river because there's like little walls on both
It
sides.
seems so comical in my mind.
Here's me just like. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also had just killed Andy because I wasn't sure if friendly fire was on, so I beat him and he died.
Wow.
I was like, oh, cool.
Wow.
So I have all of Andy's stuff because me being a good friend, I didn't want to have his stuff go away. So I have
Yeah.
all of Andy's stuff
Oh
and
my
all of my
God.
stuff, and I'm trapped on the bank of this lava river. So I think to myself, hey, on the other side, there's like a little hill I can get up. I just have to jump across this river, and I'll be fine. Just leap across this river of lava, and you know exactly where this is going, don't you? I go to jump across the river,
Let
and
me guess.
it's not a finished map yet. So some areas aren't fully rendered, or some area
Mhm.
it's not clipping and things. So I land on a rock and fall through the rock into the lava,
Oh my
and then
God.
proceed to swim for about 2 seconds before I die. I'm like, hey, I'm swimming. And then I died. So I went, crap, there goes all my stuff, Andy's stuff, and my bird.
Oh no.
So then I think, you know what? I've got one more bird. I've got a big eagle. I'm just going to go explore again. I'm going to go north as far as I can go. So I go north as far as I can go. I leave the magical fairy forest. I think, well, over there looks like a normal forest.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's like this is the only fancy area, right? So I go north looking for this normal forest. And as I fly into the forest, I realize this forest is the devil. It's full of it immediately gets dark and starts storming, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool weather effect. And then I go into the forest, it's really dark and it's really gloomy, and all the dinosaurs are skeletons, like
my
evil,
God.
lich dinosaur skeletons. So I'm like, I'm not going to land here, and I keep going. And I try to head up to this mountain, which looks really pretty, and I see things flying around. And what I was like, oh, those are just skeletal Draco liches, no problem. So one starts to chase me, of course, and I run, and I get away from him. And I find this really big crystal that looks, like, what are those things called? Like the balls with the electricity, and you touch them and go, ooh.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I forget what those
I do.
are called.
I don't know what they're called,
But
but
it
yeah,
looks
I
like
do.
you're inside
They sell them
one
at
of those.
Spencer's.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff.
So I fly to that, and of course it electrocutes me and makes my bird fall out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't kill me or my bird, but we're okay. But then things start to chase us again. So I think, I'm going to run away. And there are these weird floating orbs of stuff. I think, well, maybe I can just fly through that orb and it'll be okay. Turns out those orbs are floating orbs full of water. So I fly into the orb. My bird's like, nah, brah, and pieces out. And I'm in this orb swimming like, what am I going to do now? Oh, look, there are things that want to kill me. Running away. And I die in this orb that's full of like anglerfish and death demons and stuff. And then my bird dies
Wow.
somehow.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yep. So last I logged into the game, I had no birds, no stuff. But I had a cute little log cabin in a pretty forest full of things that glow. And I still haven't explored like
All right.
25% of the map yet.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it's good fun.
See, this is why I can't get behind this game. I would suffer horribly if my dinosaurs died. I would just be so sad, distraught, completely distraught, and losing stuff, and I can't do it.
It's very
can't
fun.
do
Though.
it.
It's very rewarding. You just have to get used to it. So that's it for me, Britt.
Okay, yes.
Have you been playing anything? I know you've been like I'll play games to feel better. When you're sick, you're just like
yes, I'm a complete zombie. I have to be in the blankets and I have to be in bed and I have to sleep like 1,000 hours a day. I mean, normally that's kind of me, but no, really.
Even more so.
This is Anyway,
Did you play any Luigi's Mansion?
No. Okay. Some Luigi's Mansion, like very briefly. But I haven't played a lot of that. That I got that like right around the time I started feeling really bad again because that came out around Halloween.
Yeah.
And Halloween is when I kind of went backwards. I was feeling better and then I went backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that down and I just slept for a really long time. I have ordered a collector's edition of Death Stranding, and I am waiting for my freaky fetus to come in, but it has not come in yet.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
So the collector's edition of Death Stranding comes with that baby, that bridge baby.
Okay.
Yes, which I think is super, super weird, but okay, that's fine. That's fine. But yes, so I'm eager to get my hands on that. I'm super excited. I don't know what to expect. I'm specifically.
I've heard very mixed things.
Yes, but I've been telling people, Kojima, he's kind of like an art house director type guy.
Yes, he is.
You know what I mean? And I hear that he wants to do movies. By the way, speaking of directing, which I think is really funny. I think he could do it. I mean, with his partnership with Del Toro, why not? You know what I mean?
Totally.
So
Del Toro's awesome.
Yeah, Del Toro's amazing. He's a god. I love him. But yeah, so I'm eager to get my hands on that. But with those kinds of movies, with those kinds of games, it's either, yeah, I know. It's not for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea, which I completely understand.
It's not for your average Madden player.
Exactly. And
it may not even be for me because I like a little bit of action in my stuff sometimes.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
And I can understand if it's one of those games that more than likely you're either going to hate it or you're going to love it, and there's no in between really. Either you get it or you don't. It is for you or it's not for you. And I think that it is going to be for me, so I'm eager to get my hands on that, but I'm just waiting for that collector's edition.
Well, hopefully it shows up. Okay.
I hope so.
So we'll move on then.
Soon, anyway. Because I know I'm getting it, but
are you haven't you played Pokemon Sword or Shield yet?
No, not yet.
Because they suck and aren't worth $60.
I really want them. But I have not picked them up yet, but I will pick them up soon.
I have not either because I'm not going to.
No, I want to play it. I want to see what it's like. I think it looks like fun. I think the idea of kaiju Pokemon is really cool. I want to try that.
And dull. I miss my Mega Evolutions where they actually had to make a new model, not just blow it up 200%.
I mean, that's cool too, but I don't know. I think the kaiju Pokemon thing is super fun.
If it was a different model, yeah. It just gets bigger though. Who cares?
Yeah. But I have had a lot of puppy expenses with Spock.
I couldn't imagine.
Yes. So, yeah, her vet visit was very expensive and her vaccinations as well, but she's worth it 'cause she's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, I will be probably waiting a little bit longer, maybe for Christmas, to get some of those games.
Okay, well, yeah. Add it to the Christmas list.
Yeah, indeed.
There you go. Okay, cool. Have you heard about the new Half-Life game?
You sent me that link. I didn't read it, but you sent me the link.
At this point, all we know is it exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Half-Life Alyx, so it was the awesome girl that was with Gordon Freeman in 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be VR exclusive, which I'm stoked by because I have VR and I like VR, and VR is great. For those of you that don't have VR, but I mean, Valve has said they're not going to make it to the Half-Life unless they can kind of progress and do something different with it. So we kind of always assumed it was going to be VR.
Yeah.
And now here we go.
I kind of wonder, how's the response to that? I feel like fans would be super divided.
It is.
Yeah.
But we'll see. They're going to show it off, I think, in a couple of days, at least like a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to see what it looks like and when it's coming out. And hopefully not in 25,000 years. It's already been like 25,000 years since Half-Life 2 came out. Just saying, Like literally, I played Half-Life 2 when I lived in California.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a long time.
That was 14 years?
I picked up Half-Life 2 and I hadn't been driving for very long.
Wow.
'Kay?
That
That's-
is insane.
Yeah, it's been a long
That's
time.
insane.
Okay, because don't forget, Half-Life 2 launched right when Steam was the thing.
Yeah.
First a thing,
Wow.
and it was a mess.
Wow.
It was a real big mess at first. But Mom, have you seen the PS5 controller leak?
I have not. I haven't looked at anything PS5 related. All I heard is that they were talking about something, and of course they're going to try to launch it holiday of next year.
Yeah.
Because I know Microsoft talked about their console and how
Mhm.
they want to launch it holiday of next year, and I feel like, of course, they're going to launch together. But other than that, I haven't even. Someone told me that allegedly it's backwards compatible, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's gonna be backwards compatible.
So that's cool.
Just with
That's really
PS4 though,
cool.
not with everything.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I would imagine only with PS4, but
Mhm.
that's still really cool. I mean, the PS4 doesn't have backwards compatibility, so
Correct.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, "You fool!"
yeah, it does. No, it doesn't,
Yes, it
son.
does.
No, son.
In my mind, it does. In my mind, it plays in 64 games.
So I think it's really
I don't know
cool.
why I'm singing.
What? Yeah. So I think it's really cool that they're adding that in there. I mean, I feel like most people have a PlayStation 4, so it's kind of like a weird decision at this time, but okay.
They're trying to be all inclusive and not divide
Mm-hmm.
the market and blah blah blah
Okay.
blah.
I mean, I can dig it.
So the controller leak was on a, I think it was South American patent
Mm-hmm.
thing, and we saw some specs for it. So it looks like a DualShock,
Mm-hmm.
except once again it's gotten a bit fatter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost looking more like an Xbox controller, but it still has the
Interesting.
sticks in the correct position and not the
Mm-hmm.
Xbox position, which makes me happy. But that's it. I mean, we don't even know if that's officially what it looks like,
Mhm.
but
wonder.
it looks like a DualShock, a slightly fatter DualShock. But that
That's
looks fine.
interesting. I mean, that's one thing I've always loved about Sony's controller is that it was smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox's controller has always been wild to me.
Well, the
'cause it's
DualShock
super
4
fat,
I thought was
but-
just about perfect because the
Yeah.
DualShock 3 and
Yeah.
2, they're a little bit small for my hands, the
Mhm.
grips, but they added a little bit of, I don't know, girth
yeah.
to the controller, so it's a little bit easier for me to hang on
Yeah.
to. So as long as it doesn't go crazy, like the Xbox One controller works, but it's always felt kind of fat.
Yeah.
And kind of
And so, and for me, it was vice versa with the Xbox. Like, it was
Mhm.
too large. Especially, I played Fatal Frame first on Xbox, the original Xbox, and then I got it for PS2 later. But that was always a struggle for me because of how big and my hands are so small, you know. And the
as
controller,
is the rest of you. Yes.
yeah, exactly. And the controller is so huge. So I was super happy when PlayStation 4 did the Hori controller, the small Hori controller.
Yeah.
I loved that thing. I thought it was really cute.
It was very micro, but
Yeah.
it's for like child hand people, so
Or me.
or children.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, children or people like Brittany.
Exactly. Though I do love, I bit my tongue, ow. I do,
I do love pain.
I do love the feel of the DualShock 4. I think that's the perfect controller, actually.
There you go. Well done. I mean, it's not a GameCube controller, but it'll
Oh
work.
my god, that GameCube, no. Mm-mm.
How?
I mean,
dare
it's a
you.
good controller.
It's a
It's
glorious
definitely
controller.
way better than the
It's-
64
it's
controller.
the be-
You know how I feel about the 64 controller? Change my mind. You can't.
It's just because you have tiny little micro hands, so you couldn't use it properly.
It's
that's
just
all.
weird.
And you grew up on a PlayStation. You didn't have a 64
that's true,
like
I
one of the
did.
cool
I
kids.
did.
Okay, you didn't have Mischief Makers. You didn't have. You didn't even like Banjo Kazooie. What kind of evil
I'm with
Philistine
Dan,
are
though.
you?
Dan, I'm with you. Okay, I know you're listening to this, but that one show we did that he was on, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, if aliens find
Whatever.
us in the remains."
Dan's lucky that it has Eddie because I
The-
don't really like Dan that much anymore. Like, have his kids
But I
straighten
agree.
him out.
If aliens only find 64 controllers, you're gonna think we have 3 arms or something. I don't know. It's weird. What Dan said. Dan, what you said. I agree.
So let me see if I can think of what Dan said. Oh, blah blah blah, Mega Man. Oh, Mega Man.
Shade.
And-
Hi, Dan.
He's gonna let me have it for that one. All right, so let's move into the meat of our show, so
Okay.
I can take some NyQuil and go to bed.
Yes.
BlizzCon just happened,
BlizzCon.
and
So stoked.
we were hoping and praying and pleading that it wasn't a complete disaster like
And
last year was. Like BlizzCon 2018 was one of the worst, like as far as responses go, the worst video game conferences ever.
I mean,
It wasn't just bad; it was
I
like,
just-
oh god.
you know how I feel about that. Like, I've said it many times. Like, I definitely understand both perspectives.
Because they've actually come out and apologized
I know.
for being so bad.
But
and out of touch with their audience.
I don't know. I guess.
Out of touch.
I think that it should have been handled a little bit differently, yes. I mean, we've talked about this back and forth so many times. I do think that it should have been handled a little bit differently.
Or better.
But overall, I really don't think it was that bad.
It was bad.
Yes, and I'm still going to play that game.
It was all about,
Is that game still coming out?
Well, see, here's the great thing. So first off, about BlizzCon, didn't mention Diablo Immortal at all during the keynote.
There's nothing wrong with a cell phone game. There's nothing wrong with There's nothing wrong with wanting to tap into that market. But
no,
and
there's
also
not. But announcing it in front of your core PC console audience and having that be like, hey, here's Diablo. Oh, what?
I know.
You don't have phones? I mean, we won't do this again.
Yes, we've talked about this since we're blue in the face.
It was poor timing.
I get it.
And they paid for it.
But I'm trying to say, I understand both perspectives. But I really don't think it was that bad.
They were very smart to not do that this year. And they were equally smart to start the show with Diablo 4.
Yes. See? Oh my God. I was so excited. I think we were watching that together.
Yeah. The way it worked with the countdown, and I'm like, stop at 4. Stop at 4. And it stopped at 4.
So cool.
And I was like,
I know.
Because it wasn't going to be anything else.
I know. We were watching that together, and I was like in tears. Like, yes.
That 9-minute cinematic.
I think I have seen that cinematic like 15 times.
Yeah.
I've watched it over and over and over again.
Good.
It's so good. The music is awesome. Yeah. The voice acting, of course, is amazing.
The creepy visuals.
It's so
nice.
Beautiful visually. Like, oh my God. Lilith, she's a queen. Like,
she's literally mama.
She looks so gorgeous. Those horns. Yes.
The horns are nice, yeah.
And you know what?
The little flesh cape she has.
This is
creepy
gonna sound
but awesome.
really, really
very
weird.
Cenobite.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of reminds me of something like a Cenobite would look like. Some type of Cenobite. In the face, she's a little too pretty, but
there's some pretty Cenobites out there.
That's true. I mean,
they just have like parts of it removed.
Look, I think Pinhead is beautiful. Like,
hey,
I'm just throwing out.
He
is. Don't lie. This is such a weird thing, but when it shows that scene where she's like coming out of her flesh bubble or whatever you want to call it.
It's a gate.
Gross. And but it's really cool. And you see her hand.
Because she was exiled to the void. Yeah. So that was a gate to bring her back.
Okay. I think her hand is so pretty. Is that weird?
No, it's just like, very delicate.
It is. And like just really pretty. Anyway, visually it looks stunning and I'm super excited and I really want to play it and I want it now and I'm really upset that it's not coming
soon. Quote, not even Blizzard soon.
Which is really bad.
Heartbreaking, but at least
because
it exists.
Blizzard, takes like 20 years to make a game.
So 2022 at the earliest, I'm guessing. Unfortunately.
Are you that hopeful? I'm not even that hopeful.
I'm that hopeful, sure.
I'm like, we're probably going to see it like 2025.
It was at least playable here. You know,
that's
true. It was playable. The first 3 classes were playable.
Okay, that's true.
Speaking of which, bringing back the Druid.
Okay, but when you say something like Blizzard soon, and you know they've taken like 15 years to come out with a game.
I don't think they can.
What was the time gap between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3? It was a long ass time.
It was like a decade. Oops. It was like a decade.
It was a long time.
Yeah, it was a while, so that's not going to work. But I mean, it can't be that long. It just can't be. Because it's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One, so it can't be that long.
That's true, but you don't know how long they're going to support the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
They supported the 360 and the PS3 for quite a while.
We'll see. But so let's talk about what we know. So Druid back. Druid comes back in a big way, where he looks more like, because the Druids and the Barbarians are from the same clan initially. The Druids went more magic-y, and Barbarian went more like shirt rip, axe punch, So these Druids look like they've gone a bit more back in the face punch direction, where the transformations are a lot more fluid. They're actually, instead of having an ability where you transform into a bear and stay a bear, your abilities dictate what transformation you take. So you have a big slam that makes you a bear. You have the quick slashy attack that makes you into a wolf. You still have your wolf pets. Your magic is a lot more nature, so you can hurl boulders and lightning and stuff like that and everything. It just looks so good. Like, where he looks like if you're a barb, but you want to be just a little bit magical, there you go. So, I mean, I don't know why anyone would ever want to do that, because barbs are love, barbs are life. Just saying. Speaking of which, let's move on. Of course, it wouldn't be Diablo if there wasn't a barbarian. I don't care what you say. It's the way it works. It's just, you got to be the barb, man. You got to have that leap. You got to have that smash, that war cry, the tornado, everything. It's great.
Definitely a U class. Absolutely.
Darn right, man. Every freaking
I've grown
game
a little
I
fond of it.
play.
I will never play a barb, but I've grown fond of it because of you.
Every game I play, like, I was joking with my friends because I was playing Monster Hunter World a little bit also, and my main weapons are hammer and greatsword. And I'm like, look, guys, one day I promise I'm going to play a super technical class that doesn't just go in and break things. And they're like, yeah, whatever, Matt.
Sure, one day.
Sure.
That's like saying Brittany's never going to be a tiefling warlock.
It's like even when I play
Yeah,
sorcerer in Diablo 3, my build is how much can I explode. It's great. Like I don't need to necessarily do the damage. I just want to cause so much stuff to happen that it makes people's frames drop. I love that. It makes me happy. So yeah, Barb's back. Sorceress is also confirmed to be back.
Yes, I'm super stoked about that.
Which really helps
Definitely
a lot.
play Sorceress.
She's going to be a lot more, one of the more colorful, even though all of the color scheme and everything, this game's going to be much more dark than D3. Like, oh my God. They were like, there is just removing every trace of cartooniness and a lot of the over flashiness. It's all going to be gone.
You know, and I didn't really mind that much. Like, I thought Diablo 3 was beautiful.
It got a lot better as it went on, but it was a bit too bright.
I disagree.
Well, that's fine.
But okay.
But
I mean, I thought
like,
that was a beautiful game.
The whole
And then
atmosphere felt a bit too,
I feel like
Pixar-y.
Okay. I don't think so.
Well, look at, play 2 again.
Okay.
And you can't see what's coming in front of you because it's dark. Like, there's this ring of light around you, and that's what you got.
I do recall that, but sometimes I feel like that's too much, you know?
I like it.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. I understand.
It added a lot more of, the grim, dark, gothic
Yeah.
kind of style back into it because 3 had some of it. And like I said, once you got to, the Necromancer
so
add-on, 3
gorgeous.
got some of that in,
Yeah.
but just the palette was a lot brighter.
Yeah,
It had
for
much
sure.
warmer.
Well, I mean,
color
you do
palette.
storm heaven, but you're in heaven. Of course, it makes sense that it's going to be
True,
bright.
but the entire game is bright. Even the swamps, even the caves are bright.
That's
In
true.
4, everything is gloomy and it kind of has this kind of pallid color.
Ooh.
But you'll still have the sorceress will still be able to light things up.
Yeah.
So you'll be in this dark dungeon and you can't see, but if you shoot a fireball, you'll light up that corner for a second.
Ooh.
So really pretty shadows and
exciting.
particle effects
Yeah.
and everything. That's going to be awesome.
Either way, I'm super eager.
Also, rumors of the other 2 classes, because there's going to be 5 classes at launch.
Okay.
The other 2 are already rumored to be leaked, which makes me really happy because it's 100% D2. You're going to have the Amazon.
Ooh.
And my other boy, the Paladin.
Wow.
Crusader was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Paladin's better. I'm just saying.
I mean, let's be real. I'm just going to play as a sorceress.
I want to have my Thorns build where I'll walk up to people and go, "Ugh," and they touch me and explode. That's great. I couldn't really do that in 3. They're bringing back rune words, which at first made me super excited. Then I was like, oh, okay, well, they're kind of back. Runes are back where it used to be. Did you ever mess with rune words in 2?
I don't
It was
remember.
some complicated
I
stuff.
played 2 like 12 years ago.
Okay, cool.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
You played it on and off, but
was
hardcore you played it that long ago.
Yeah, hardcore, yeah. Probably about more like 8 years ago, maybe. Like hardcore, like through. Yeah.
So runes in this, they're back-ish, where instead of sets of 3 and having specific builds where 3 runes form a magic word and that was your power. In this one, there's only 2 words. It seems almost like they're setting it to be a cause and effect. Like, if this happens, this happens. You slot that into your armor instead of gems, which is cool. It's not as complicated, but they're promising lots of diversity. A lot of the angle of this game is build diversity, and they're really pushing there not to be one overpowered build per class, which, let's face it, is almost always the way it is in every single one of these games ever. If you're playing Barbarian, you play Leap Quick. If you're playing Necromancer, at one point you're doing the bone spear thing. If you're playing Destiny and you're doing this Warlock, you want to have the one with the energy field. I mean, there's always going to be the OP build. They're trying to make it so that's no longer necessarily strictly the case. So legendary weapons are going to be more powerful than sets now, where sets still exist and sets are awesome. Remember how sets kind of open up whole new doors of build styles in 3. Sets will not be as powerful as legendaries, and legendaries, instead of just giving you like one specific overpowered ability, they're going to just change the dynamic of an ability instead. So if you mix that with different things, it's going to be awesome. There's also different classes past legendary. I think it's called epic now, where a la Destiny, you can only have one equipped at a time. So it's going to be a big game-changing kind of thing.
Excuse me.
Which is awesome. Oh, what else? I mean, they're going whole on this. It's going to be an open world kind of experience. which some people are like, but I don't mind.
I like
There's
that,
gonna be
actually. I
five-
like that
yeah,
concept.
5 huge open world areas where you
Ooh.
can run into other people because PvP's back.
Okay, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's super sweet.
And you can opt in or out of PvP. So if you don't want to deal
I
with
like
it,
that
you don't
too.
deal with it.
I think options are always best.
Mhm.
So it's really cool that they give you that option. Because what if you just feel like, just going in and playing with your friends and you don't
Yep.
have to worry about anybody? So I really like that.
Corpse runs are back. Did you hear about this?
No.
You remember the corpse run fun, right? Where you die and drop all your crap and have to
Yep.
come back to it.
Yep.
It's not that extreme.
Oh,
You
yes.
die and you drop a bunch of your gold and you have to run back and get your gold. They haven't said you lose all of your armor and all of your weapons, which I always thought was great because then if you die again, it's like, screw you, Dark Souls. You start naked if you die twice, man. I mean, that's just it.
I remember those days.
Oh, it was great. So that's going to be back to a degree. So there is a bit more concern about dying now. Like there's definitely a penalty for dying more than just item wear, which they haven't even confirmed it's going to be a thing or not, which is great. 2 5 open world areas. There's going to be world events, so a little bit MMO-ish, where there are big open world events where everyone in the region will get notified. You can all come in and like they showed this one giant boss with like bone scythes on its hands. It was
kind of like public events. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just
like
killing
Warhammer
people left
used
and
to
right.
do.
It took like a dozen or so people to bring it down, that kind of thing. Where you don't do it by yourself. You die if you do it by yourself.
I really like that.
So that's really cool.
Final Fantasy does that as well.
Yep.
And that's super
Yeah,
fun.
It's been
just
kind of a standard
yeah.
for MMOs for a while now. So they're bringing that in here. So it's still going to be, isometric action RPG, but with more public kind of open things. The dungeons, all random.
Ooh.
So once again, back to the good old days. There are going to be tons of base templates, but all of it's going to be random. And once you're in a dungeon, it's only you and your party. So people can't, like spawn camp you in a dungeon kind of thing. So that's nice.
I like that. That's really nice.
Oh, what else?
And you know what? I do have to say, because earlier, I did break the chain with Diablo 3. I played as a demon hunter, remember?
You did.
I mean, that was the first character I think I started with.
You kind of sucked, but yeah, you did.
And then I went back
Yeah.
to...
you did a lot better
to
once
Magic,
you went
but
back.
yes.
Because Demon Hunter is a little bit too, I think, hop, skippy, jumpy for you.
I actually really enjoyed playing a demon hunter. I wasn't that bad at it. Come on. We got through the whole game like 5 times.
Yeah, but once you got up into like Torment 10, you got
I mean,
you get up to the 4 end game and you were in Paladin too, or what's it called? Paragon level 460.
oh yeah. You're like Paragon a million, and I think I stopped.
I mean,
not too far
like,
into that.
Which version of the game, Britt? Because it's like there's the PlayStation one, which I'm in the hundreds. There's the PC one, which I'm in the thousands. And then there's the Switch one, which I'm only in the low hundreds. So,
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I've put many hours of my life into Diablo, and I'm not ashamed to say it. You have to. You know,
I love having it on Switch. It's amazing. And I love having it on PS4. That was also really amazing. I bought it all for PC, PS4, and for Switch. But it feels so good with keyboard and mouse.
It does.
You know?
It does.
It's just,
Yeah.
It's the bomb.
So it's also coming to all consoles except for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be coming to Xbox One, PS4, probably 5 and Scarlet, whatever that is, and PC, of course.
Yeah.
But it just looks great. There's going to be mounts. You can hop on horses now because the world's so big. You're going to want to run a little faster. There are these cool like dismount attacks where you fly off your horse and crush things and keep things nice and fluid and awesome. And, it just looks good. I'm stoked. I wish it could happen now. I watched all of the gameplay bits for it. It's nice. It's so gooey and gory. Like your guy gets blood on you, a la like Bloodborne and everything. So when you're killing people, you start getting soggy and wet. You're like, it's nice. I enjoy it. What else? Did anything else happen to BlizzCon? Nope. Cool. Moving on. Okay, so lots of other stuff they talked about. Neither one of us cared. We'll just run through it. There's a WoW expansion. You go to the underworld. The other Lich King's dead now. Blah, blah. Moving on. Whatever. You could like WoW. I have no problem with you liking WoW. I am as done with WoW as a human being could possibly be done with it.
We've talked about that many times too. We've played so many MMOs, pretty much almost all of them.
Pretty much, yeah.
And yeah, we did not stick with WoW for very long.
Well, you didn't.
That's true.
I played WoW a lot.
That's true. You were on
back
it
in
for
like
quite a
Burning
while.
Crusade days. I got my time in, and I just don't have a desire to come back to it.
I feel like I tried a few characters. I did a Blood Elf, and I feel like I got her reasonably high.
You did at the time period, you got her just about max.
Yeah.
Because that was also like right around like Lich King time. So I think you got her around.
And
like
then
50 something.
I tried. My goodness, what are they called? We were just talking about them the other day. The Draeneids.
Draenei?
No, Draenei.
Yeah.
Draenei.
Because
That's
they
right,
have cute
Draenads.
little hooves.
That's in
The
like
dryads.
the dryads. Greek mythology. I'm like mixing the two of them. See, you can see how well this stuck with
The
me.
dryads in Warcraft word also.
Okay. I don't know.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
D something.
But yeah,
something
so
with
new
this-
action, the Waction,
But it was
new
called
WoW expansion Shadowlands.
Draenei.
Yeah, the Draenei.
Okay, yeah. I played that too. but-
Coming out. If
Love
you're
it.
into it, awesome. If
Mhm.
you're not, awesome. That's
Yeah.
fine. They did some.
I feel like we didn't really pay that much attention to that one.
I mean, I watched the cut because it's a pretty cut scene. I
Yeah.
mean, but the Lich King that wasn't Arthas, and I don't know who he is because I'm that out of the lore.
Mhm.
Got the crap kicked out of him by elf lady with bow, who I
Mhm.
should really remember her name because she's been around since the beginning and I can't, and I feel really bad.
That's okay.
Is it Jane? It's not Jaina. Hold on. Who
It's
is
okay.
it? I don't know. Whatever. Moving on.
It's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We saw new cards for Hearthstone. Also, don't care, but if you like card games, Hearthstone looks awesome. Sweet. There's dragons now. Everyone likes dragons. It's awesome.
Cool beans.
And then we move on to the cap for the keystone, the keynote they did.
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell you, I've got a lot of mixed feelings about this.
Do you?
And at first, I was massively hyped, and then
Yeah.
I read more about it, and I was like, huh.
Okay, so I did not read that much into it. I saw the cutscene, of course, and it's super beautiful.
Oh yeah, of course. The
it
cinematic was
looks-
amazing.
The cinematic was amazing. Yeah, it looks like a Pixar movie, which I super love. And that's one thing that I always hungered for from Overwatch. Like, I love that. I just can't get behind the game. You know, I've tried. I've mentioned this before. I wish that it was something more. I love the characters. I love the cinematics. So seeing how much detail they put into those things, for it to just be a person versus person shooter, you know? Yeah.
Person versus person.
I was going to call it a battle royale, but I don't
want
know
that
if that's...
on a T-shirt.
You know what I mean.
Elite person versus person gamer.
You know what I mean. But for it to be
It's like
just...
pancake versus pancake. Pigeon versus pigeon.
I was gonna say battle royale, but I
Nope.
don't. It's
Nope.
not.
It's not, thank God.
So, but you know what I mean. That type of game. I feel like it was lacking, and I really want a story.
Well,
This one
good
gets
for
one.
you. This one has
Yes!
a story.
And that's why I am stoked,
So-
and I will definitely try
good
it.
points. It's going to have a huge story mode, they're saying,
Yeah.
where you play in groups a la Left 4 Dead with lots of lore, lots of
Okay.
story stuff.
See,
That's great.
I'm digging that.
Yep.
I'm digging
There's
that.
going to be, in the story mode, there's going to be upgradable abilities. So as you level, your character's
Mhm.
powers are going to be different. And they're going to change. So you can kind of
Okay.
like build your character the way you want. That's
See?
super awesome.
I'm digging this because it's gonna feel more like a game. It seemed like to
Mhm.
me with Overwatch, they have so much lore, they have so much going on, and the game doesn't show. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It doesn't show. It shows in the cinematic, sure, but I want that in the game. You know, in
Mhm.
the game that I play. So
Definitely.
that sounds amazing. I really want to try that.
Mm-hmm. And then moving on to the less cool stuff. What really got me excited
Mhm.
was the swappable abilities and swappable skills. Where
Mhm.
if you didn't want to use Tracer's pulse thing, you can do something else. Or if you wanted to, her like shift ability, doing like different stuff like that.
Mhm.
You could change things. I'm like, oh, that's going to add a whole new awesome dynamic to PvP. Where it's like the Battlefield series or Call of Duty, where no gun is supposed to be specifically overpowered. It's just different. So
Yeah.
you'll have a character like you have an assault class, but he'll have this gun and he'll have these types of grenades, and you don't know just from looking exactly what the hard counter for that character is. So it adds a huge dynamic to what is becoming kind of like a chess game as far as hardcore Overwatch gameplay goes. Like, you're gonna have this setup, this, you need this, and this. And you know that specifically, like, if you're going to want to counter this McCree, you're going to have this person. If you're going to have a Mei, you're going to do this or whatever.
Mhm.
If you see a character now, you're like, oh, okay, well, what's her skills going to be? What's she going to be using? And that just blew my mind because that would be so awesome, and that would add just a whole new level to the game. It's not going to be like that. PvP is going to only have the standard abilities. You're not going to have anything else unlockable on it, and that makes me mad.
Interesting. So what's the point?
It's in the single player mode has that.
Okay.
The multiplayer mode is literally a copy paste of Overwatch 1. To the degree where Overwatch 1 players are going to get all the new maps for multiplayer
Mhm.
and all the new characters, all the new heroes that are going to be joining the game are also going to
Okay.
be included in Overwatch 1. So by buying Overwatch 2, you're only buying the story mode.
Okay, but personally, in my opinion, I don't see that as a negative thing because I think now they're finally trying to bring those people like me into their
Well,
game.
let me explain to you why I feel it's a negative thing.
Okay.
It's all about that price.
Okay.
Are you going to pay $60 for just a little story mode?
I mean, I will because that's what you do. You're paying $60 for Jedi Fallen Order.
It depends on how much it is. Jedi Fallen Order is 30 hours.
Okay, but this is a whole story mode. You said it yourself with a ton of lore. So how long is this game going to be?
It depends on how much is going to be there. That's the thing. 'Cause a lot of people are thinking like a lot of this sequel just feels like an expansion. And they're marketing it as a sequel to get people more hyped for it, but it's really just like this could have been just an expansion pack or a DLC.
I mean, but this is the first time they're doing a story, and how else would you market it? I wouldn't market it as an expansion.
I would. Or just Overwatch PvE or something like that. Just separate. Because it's going to operate completely separately from the PvP mode. There's no carryover at all. So it's like, what's the point?
But I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be new characters, correct? New
which you don't have to buy 2 to get.
Okay.
You get the new characters.
But still, if you want that story, there you go. You have it. It's yours. And I feel like they're probably going to put a lot of work into it. It takes a lot of work to work on a game. Yeah. You know?
It's left me and a lot of people feeling kind of weird. Like, is it really a sequel? And they talk about how they're trying to not divide the player base, which is positive and that's great. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like I feel like we're getting less out of it.
I actually kind of don't see the problem because you're getting, if you don't want to buy Overwatch 2, that's fine. You're gonna get all of this stuff. But for people who like me who are craving a story, and for it to be something more, then we can pay for that and get the best of both worlds.
It's just a matter, are we still going to get our money's worth? Because most of the content in 2 is going to be free. You know, so you're paying for 2.
You're paying for the story.
Yes.
Just like you do with any other game.
It just comes back to how long is that story going to be and how much are they going to charge for the game?
That... I think it is going to be a $60, but I feel like that's fair.
See, if it's $60, I don't think it's fair.
I do,
unless
depending on how long the game is.
Long,
you don't know. But if it's like a 20-hour campaign, that's worth $60.
Because specifically, the video I've seen of the game, it looks like when they've had the occasional event where there'll be a PvE mode. I'm not going to pay $60 for like 4 of those missions. Most sane people wouldn't because it's not worth the money.
I mean, I feel like it takes a lot of time to work on a game. And it takes a lot of time to draw those characters.
Don't be an apologist. Don't do it.
I'm just saying.
That's like the Pokemon thing. It's like, oh, we're a small company that makes more money than Star Wars. We can't afford to make the game not look like crap.
It's like those people have to get paid, and it takes a lot of time. Like it takes me hours to do a piece.
That's
you know what I mean?
But that's why they're paid to do it.
I'm very sympathetic with that.
I'm not. I'm giving them my money. I expect quality.
I realize how long that takes. Of course. But I also understand that when you're going to put quality into your game, so again, you don't know, but all of their games Blizzard has a reputation for having beautiful games. So when you put that much work into it, you expect to get paid. I mean, they have
and
to.
They do.
And you have a lot of costs that you have to factor in. And I feel like $60 is fair.
I think we'll see.
We'll see.
You know, personally, I think what they should do.
I mean, if it's a 3-hour, like a 2 or a 3-hour campaign,
if you own Overwatch 1, you should be able to get the game for like $20, because it's just an expansion. It's a story expansion, but that's all it is.
I don't know.
All of the characters and all the levels and all the new multiplayer modes are still going to be free,
I don't think so.
I don't think it's worth it.
Because they're already giving you so much for free. So I feel like it's
That's
fair
what I mean.
if they put a lot of time into the campaign, and if the campaign is long, I feel like it's fair to pay $60. You'd pay $60 for something else.
Yes, but that's a big if.
I'm just saying.
I don't think it will be.
Don't be so negative.
I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic.
I'm curious to see. Okay, email us podcast@gameovervideogames.com.
Brings us to our question
.com,
of
JK.
the show.
But yes,
what announcement for BlizzCon are you the most excited about? What got you the most hype? It's obviously D4.
And of course,
obviously
for us, definitely Diablo. But I'm curious. Tell me what you think.
And your view on sequels. Is Overwatch 2 actually a sequel? Should it just be an expansion? Should it be a download? How much do you think it should cost? You know,
I think we need more information.
Yes.
But right now, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a decently sized campaign. You're already getting stuff for free.
I just think it's funny because
I feel like it's fair.
It's just our two different outlooks on things. Where it left me and several other people just feeling kind of suspicious and not as hyped as I initially was, and you're just like.
Okay,
rabbits.
these things that you know about me, and especially if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I'm super positive because I like to be. I mean, that's a choice.
Yeah, you're the dog in the house. This is fine. It's on fire.
Right. And I just like seeing the world that way, you know? I try. I have my dark days, but I try. But yeah, I'm super positive, and also I love to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm empathetic.
Oh, you got that half right.
I have empathy. So I understand.
I understand how
Yes,
you feel.
understand. But I also understand from an artist's perspective how long it takes to do something. So, I feel like they do deserve, if they're going to put out a quality product, they deserve to get paid. And I know you're going to say keyword is if. I get it. But, disagree with me.
No. I don't want
Do it for Spock.
Do it for Spock.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, because Spock's still going to play Overwatch.
I definitely see your perspective, but I think
I see your opinion and disagree with you because you're stupid.
I think that you should try to be a little bit more understanding.
I am understanding. If it's good, I'll give them money.
And it's sad when you put a lot of work into something and you try your best to make it beautiful and people just poop all over it.
I understand that Activision Blizzard's losing a lot of money and needs to make successful games quickly if they want to stay in business. I understand that very well. Do you?
I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm just looking the other way.
Shush with your logic. Shush with your reality.
I mean, I personally
like unicorns.
I don't feel like they're that bad off. I feel like that's a gross over-exaggeration.
Well, there's been lots of rumors about how they're like, put up or shut up, guys.
I need the concrete proof.
Well, they're not going to give you concrete proof. It's like that's like a business saying, it's like, oh, we're not close.
Yes, but you can't trust. It's like you can't trust rumors.
No, you can't. But you can see the writing on the wall.
You can't believe everything that you read on Facebook.
It's like we could say a certain electronics store that's very obviously going out of business because their shelves have been empty for months, and they're like, "Oh, we're not closing," and we're like, "Really?"
They still haven't, though.
I know they haven't yet. But and if you live in Texas, you know exactly which one I'm talking about because you've been there, and there's nothing there to buy.
But I feel like it's not that, and things don't. Personally, I feel like things do not turn over that quickly.
She's Captain Positive.
No, it's true.
I know. I'm just
as an example. Right now they're still successful and stable. Things don't turn around like that overnight. I mean, it
hasn't been overnight.
It's a decline.
Yes, it has been a decline. And Activision as a whole, especially since they lost Bungie, has been like, we need to make money.
No, I feel like everybody cries wolf lately because yes. Companies struggle. We have struggles. Everyone has struggles. But it doesn't mean it's
Guts has struggles.
Indeed,
Guts is the struggler.
He does. But it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. If you need to hear this, I love you. You're special.
Sometimes it's the train. Once again, different mindsets.
Good night.
Britt loves you. I'm the guy. I'm the engineer.
You know what I mean? So people always jump to like the worst possible conclusion. And I really don't. Sometimes without any evidence, I don't even understand. Okay,
look,
whatever.
Britt. Sometimes it's really lung cancer. Okay. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going.
Okay, I'm leaving. Bye.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go to bed. It was actually still with all the the coughing and hacking and death we're gonna cut out. This was actually still a very short show from us.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised, but hey, we're trying to get back into the groove of things. So. Thank you so much for your patience and for understanding.
And we will be getting back on the ball right in time for holiday season so we don't have time to do it again.
Yeah.
Aha. But no, we'll be back. I'm going to play Star Wars.
Yes.
And I have to capture new birds.
That's actually our plan tonight. Star Wars. Pizza and Star Wars.
Pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza!
Pizza and Star Wars.
I like pizza. And NyQuil.
Oh, and I'm sorry. We didn't talk about this, and I wanted to talk about it. I'm sorry, David. The Mandalorian. I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, but all I have to say is Baby Yoda, and I'm so ready for that. That's another thing that we're going to do tonight. You're coming over. We're going to eat pizza.
I don't want to watch Star Wars. Star Wars is crap.
We're going to eat pizza. We're going to watch The Mandalorian, and I think there's only 2 episodes.
I want to go to bed, man.
And then we're going to play Star Wars, and then you are allowed to go to bed after that.
I'm sleeping on. I'm just going to sleep on your couch then.
Fine.
I'm going to take. Do you have NyQuil? I'm taking NyQuil. I'm knocking it on the couch. I'm grabbing your dog, using it as a pillow, and that's the way it goes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but Baby Yoda. Okay.
You know what? I'm going to tell them the story about how you take medicine
Baby
just to
Yoda.
make you feel better. So when
Baby
Britt takes
Yoda.
medicine, right? It's a
Okay.
game. It's a game for me now because I have to make her take medicine. I'll go over there, be like, Britt, take your medicine. Britt, take your medicine. You're dying.
Okay. Liquid medicine is gross. NyQuil is disgusting. Dayquil
NyQuil is delicious.
is disgusting. Oh my God.
NyQuil
it's
is
disgusting.
delicious death.
And this is coming from someone who actually likes licorice. And I think NyQuil tastes disgusting.
See, I love NyQuil. In the
Now my
words,
hands are all over the place.
in the
Look at me.
slightly censored words of the great Dr. Dennis Leary.
Oh my God.
Lots of other medications have tried to change things to be nice and tasty. NyQuil, no way. Still the same green death flavor. Yeah. Gotta love it, man.
It is. And I can't.
It's amazing.
I'd rather have the NyQuil pills.
I mean,
it tastes
better than certain kinds of alcohol that are the same color. That also tastes kind of like licorice. And it works just about as well.
I mean, accurate, but
All right, we
not a fan of that
are
either.
going to hit the road.
Yes,
But
Jack.
as always, if you have any questions, comments, answers to question of the show, podcast at gameovervideogames.com. That's podcast at gameovervideogames.com. I'm sorry for kissing the mic. Mwah.
Yeah, if you totally want to let Matt know that you agree with me wholeheartedly, podcast at gameovervideogames.com. That's how that sounded. Podcast at gameovervideogames.com.
.com.
Boop, boop.
Beep boop.
And now I have to go home to boop a snoot.
Snoot booping.